I want everyone to remember that they love their mama and their mama loved them. Remember them day by day, minute by minute. Why? Why did that house have to burn down? We didn't deserve that at all.
Kiana, Kiara, Periel, and Connie all died in the rental home where they lived on East Columbia Street.
Somebody knows who was in that house that morning everything went first. And I hope they have the courage to talk about that experience and why. Because we have lots of questions.
The 6-year mark is approaching on a tragic fire here at this Flora home that killed 4 girls. Several months after their deaths, investigators ruled the cause of the fire as arson. The victims were Kiani, Cariel, Kiara, and Kiana. When Kathy Clendenning helped to start a reward fund in 2017, she never imagined the person responsible would remain on the loose nearly 6 years later. The florafour Angels Committee has raised about $18,000 since then for information leading to an arrest. But under an agreement with the committee's umbrella nonprofit organization, the Flora Community Club, that money after 5 years must be donated to the Flora Monroe Township Volunteer Fire Department. Clendenning is now pleading with fire officials to donate that money to a separate state reward fund.
There's still someone out there. There's still someone that I know could turn in a tip. I am begging you to turn the funds over to the state fund and please continue this reward for the girls.
In a statement, a lawyer representing the Flora Community Club said the organization is legally obligated to distribute the funds as promised. Indiana State Police confirmed the florafour Angels Fund is separate from a $5,000 reward fund handled by Indiana State Police. The fire remains under investigation, and anyone with information should call 1-800.
I have some information I would like to share with you regarding the deadly house fire on November 21st, 2016, located in the 100 block of East Columbia Street, Flora, Indiana, 46929. News agencies reported Carroll County Sheriff's Officer Drew Yoder and Flora Police Officer Josh Dissinger were first to arrive on scene of a working residential house fire. The officers attempted to make entry into the burning structure to rescue the occupants inside. The rescue attempt was unsuccessful due to the heavy smoke involved and resulted with both officers requiring medical assistance for the injuries they sustained. Later, Officer Drew Yoder was recognized for his heroic effort with his attempt to save 4 girls, and Officer Josh Dissinger cited as a hero, rescuing Officer Yoder, assisting him out of the burning residence.
Yoder joined the Sheriff's Department in May of 2015 as a full-time merit deputy. Before that, he was a reserve sheriff's deputy, and right now, he is also a part of the Cutler Democratic Township Volunteer Fire Department. Sheriff Tobe Lesenby says he wasn't the least bit surprised by Yoder's actions.
Drew in particular, he's a go-getter, and trying to save those lives, and so it didn't surprise me when I got the call. I knew he would be one of those to do that.
Lesenby says even though Yoder was unconscious, he didn't give up the fight.
When they were trying to attend to him, he kept, in essence, fighting them, not necessarily in a bad way, but he was trying to, and I could see that fight in him. So that's what led me to believe everything's going to be good.
Deisinger joined the police department 11 years ago. Flora Police Chief Paul Redmond says Deisinger was awarded the Medal of Valor after his heroic actions at another house fire several years ago.
Josh is kind of like our local Superman. He's unfortunately, however you want to look at it, a lot of these kind of things seem to happen when Josh is working, and he always responds in a very brave and heroic manner.
Redmond says many people in the community look up to Deisinger and see him as a role model.
He did what he has done, what he will continue to do. It's a model for anybody going into this profession or any kind of a first responder profession, whether it be fire, EMS, law enforcement. That's the kind of guy you want on your team.
What has not been reported? Flora Fire Department already had a fire engine and firefighters on scene. Officer Yoder, on his own accord, disregarding the fire department orders to stay out of the way, grabbed an SCBA off the Flora fire truck and placed onto his body before he entered the burning structure. Officer Yoder did not have any other fire department issued PPE on at the time, nor is he a member of the Flora Fire Department. Officer Yoder is a member of another fire department located in Carroll County. Officer Yoder knows as a trained firefighter, he should have never entered the burning structure without the proper gear and by himself. Sometime during Officer Yoder's attempted rescue, his face mask came off and was overcome by smoke inhalation. Officer Dissinger ran inside to assist Yoder's retreat, disregarding firefighter request to stay out. A seasoned Flora firefighter was on scene with all PPE attire, assisted both Yoder and Dissinger to safety. The actions of these two officers compromised and delayed rescue efforts by firefighters to the 4 girls. EMS on scene focused all their effort and time to evaluate and treat both law enforcement officers, delaying treatment to other victims. Firefighters eventually made rescue attempts after clearing the obstruction of both officers to the 4 girls, bringing each one outside. EMS on scene could not revive them after focusing their treatment first to both officers. All 4 girls' bodies were removed from the scene and transported to Flora Fire Department garage floor. This was conducted before Carroll County coroner could arrive on scene. The removal and transportation of bodies before a coroner initially conducts his investigation is a violation of Indiana code. Fire personnel are trained to make a temporary morgue setting, minimizing the view of bodies from the public. Why did they choose to ignore their own training or follow proper procedures? Their bodies then being placed on the concrete floor of the fire station compromised any forensic evidence that might have been present. First fire investigation occurred immediately after extinguishment, salvage, and initial overhaul preparations were completed. Fire investigators from responding mutual aid departments assisted Flora Fire Department investigators. Their initial investigation determined one origin of fire starting behind the refrigerator, commenting the refrigerator as a possible cause. The firefighters who initially investigated this fire were from multiple fire departments located in Carroll County and were trained investigators from a former Carroll County Fire Investigation Task Force. Law enforcement reported later an accelerant was detected on Officer Yoder's clothing that was retrieved from the hospital. The accelerant detected could be from cross-contamination from the SCBA he was wearing. The face shield, mask, and air fittings get cleaned and sanitized after every use. The bottles, straps, webbing, and cushions very seldom get cleaned from fire to fire. Cross-contamination could potentially exist between clothing and equipment. Investigation of house fire continues days and weeks later. During this time, the house was never properly secured from day one. Certain civilians were seen coming and going from inside the residence. Josh Ayers was one of them. Side note, Josh Ayers is owner of this house. Josh Ayers, former president of Flora Town Board. Josh Ayers, owner of Maytag Appliance Sales Distributor in Carroll County. Josh Ayers, owner of Flora and Delphi True Value Hardware Store. Josh Ayers provides many used appliances he received from customers throwing out their old appliances from his Maytag business to his rental properties. Josh Ayers sold a used refrigerator to Flora Fire Department that quit working shortly afterwards and was then replaced with a new one from a different vendor because he would not make right by it. Josh Ayers, Flora Town Board President, approved an invoice in the amount of $2,275 for legal representation for Fire Chief Adam Randall during law enforcement interviews October 16 through October 19. Adam Randall, son of Dennis Randall, former Indiana State Fire investigator. Adam was truly affected by this fire. At one time, he changed his name on Facebook to a Muslim name and tattooed his entire back with images stemming from this fire. I know he is withholding information about this fire and he is slowly spiraling downhill because of it. The guilt he is experiencing is eating him up inside. Why would the fire chief need legal representation? I would think the police and fire departments share the same goal, justice for those 4 girls. Why are my tax dollars being spent for this? Not one town board representative will answer this question. Current Fire Chief Todd Trent is also withholding information, being so close with both Adam and Dennis Randall, he chooses his words very carefully not to reveal the truth. Officer Todd Trent assisted each firefighter who gave a written statement about this fire on what to write and what not to report. Feels like the town has a dark secret and no one wants the truth revealed. A peer review was conducted by the Indianapolis Fire Department. What they don't know is they received revised documents instead of originals for their investigation. I reside here in this small community and must remain anonymous.